Mine.
I didn't play.
I just started recording.
But I have started recording also.
Oh, did you know?
Yeah.
I have too. What do you think of that?
I like it. I like it a lot.
I started recording too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right then.
Yeah.
Should we just do a clap then?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay.
Why not?
3, 2, 1.
How's that?
All right. That was acceptable.
Good.
Acceptable. All righty.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to episode 524 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, November 22nd, 2016. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, from the great state of California, Mr. Phil Theobald.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello.
Bringing the energy from California.
Well, someone had to. My goodness.
True.
The introduction was lackluster at best.
I know, and I wasn't even up for 24 hours playing NES games like Mr. Greg Seward, who is not here. He is sleeping off his 8-bit hangover.
What a weak man. He promised he'd be here, and he's not. What's going on?
He did promise. He made promises. He didn't keep them.
I like how Seward gets a little intro shout out. Oh, we miss him for having to take a nap. But I'm getting surgery, and everyone's just like, oh, whatever.
Well, you see,
is he around?
Greg raised like a little over $7,600 for kids yesterday.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Phil,
your surgery was selfish. It was just for you.
And
just for you.
Others.
And I paid about $76,000 for
$7,600.
What did I say? Did I say 1,000?
Yes.
Well, this is the American medical system I'm talking
That's
about.
True. That's true.
Don't poo-poo that number so quickly.
Indeed. And from the great state of California, also joining me, Mr. Ethan Einhorn. Hello.
Hey there, guys. I am feeling much better tonight than I was last night. I learned something very, very valuable last night about VR. I thought that it was an old wives' tale, was impossible to actually throw up from motion sickness. Turns out it's not. It's not an urban legend. So I was playing Gun Valkyrie, and I was flipping up and down, having a great time, but feeling surprisingly motion sick. But I literally just thought it was impossible to actually get sick. That it just, you kind of push through it and it'll be fine. So I pushed. Yeah. So I pushed through it. Took off my my headset when I just couldn't take anymore, and then for the first time in I think 7 or 8 years, just blue chunks everywhere. So
now, when you say everywhere, there was no receptacle that you blew chunks in. Was this actually
I wasn't
like a projectile?
exactly.
Did this just go all over the living room?
It was a bit like Linda Blair from The Exorcist. It wasn't pea green soup. I went to Old Spaghetti Factory earlier in the day, so you can imagine.
Oh, that paints a picture. That paints a picture.
Doesn't it, though? Yeah, so...
you had an authentic Italian dinner, is what you're saying.
Twice, as it happens.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah.
You ate your vomit?
No. It went down and came up, and it was delicious both times.
As somebody who suffers from motion sickness, I could definitely tell you, yes, indeed, you can throw up from it. It is possible.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, be careful when playing Eve Valkyrie. It's a good game, but man, when you're flipping up and down, that can wreak havoc on your stomach.
So that was on your PSVR?
No, that was on the Vive. It came out on Vive just this past week. So
okay,
this is the most exciting thing to happen to VR in past few weeks.
What was funny, actually,
the vomiting.
Yeah, the vomiting is the most interesting thing about VR lately.
I don't think. Yeah. I don't think that's true.
Really?
I told my wife, I can't play this game. Obviously, maybe I should ask for a refund on Steam. And she's like, "What? You're gonna refund something that was so realistic that it made you sick? And that's their fault." I
don't know if that's true though. Like I think there's a difference between so real it can make you sick and just feeling real. Like the reason that you get sick out of these games usually is because there's some disconnect, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
And it was $60. So,
Oh, there you go.
all right.
But that's just pennies per chunk. So
yeah, that's true.
But you know what's not $60? Super Mario Run from Nintendo.
Terrible segue.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I would spend the $60 if that's what it was. Honest to goodness.
I don't know if I would do that.
You would think it's
It would-
$120
it would have
on
lost
the
me.
people complaining.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people complaining. So Nintendo announced that Super Mario Run for mobile, which comes out on iOS first, is coming out on December 15th, and it will have one in-app purchase, which will get you the full game content, and it is $9.99. Now, it is a free download. You can play some of the game. It's sort of free to start up until that point.
And the thing is if you love games, this is the greatest thing in the world. If you love games, this is the way mobile should be. And actually, I've heard...
Well, you can't really say that until you play the game. Yeah, but you
No.
could
What I'm
say
saying, I'm talking about the business model.
based on
though.
Nintendo's prior free-to-start type of games.
I can
And-
play Mobile Strike for free. So why should I pay $10?
No, but
Yes.
actually, I saw one online article, and I heard IGN actually bring up, Chris Kohler brought up Super Monkey Ball as the way things used to be on the iPhone. $10, you get a full game. And, having worked on that one, that's how I wish it had remained. I did not want it to go down the path it did, but now we're in a position where we can celebrate and embrace going back to that, and that's a great...
But here's the thing. We're not going to go back to that.
No.
It honestly doesn't matter whether Nintendo is successful with this or not, because the only people who could possibly command a $10 IAP was really either Nintendo or Square, right? Any of the premium games that people
totally
like
see what
EA
you're
release, it's usually like around $5 to $7. You're not going to see this become a thing, is my prediction.
Well, I think you're probably right. $10 is going to be the top of the scale, but I'm hoping that we do at least see more large-scale development teams have greater confidence in bringing IP that is loved and recognized to iPhone, built from the ground up to be an excellent experience that everyone's comfortable with spending maybe $5 on or $7 on, or if it is something that is on the level of Mario, $10 for. But what I want so badly is to see the iOS store start to look like the Steam store, which, yeah, they have the junky free-to-play stuff in both categories, but Steam has a really good ecosystem for premium. And if I can at least have a balance, that's great. But, having it only free-to-play sucks. And, Mario will represent the proof that at least a significant number of customers, if given the right product, will spend $10 up front, because I think it's going to be successful.
Yeah, I think it will be. I think the difference is that you don't see people, on PS4 or other platforms like scoffing at $60, even with the existence of $5, $10, $15 games. Whereas on mobile, people are scoffing at Mario Run's price. And I understand it. Because we have spent, 5-6 years at this place where spending anything at all, even 99 cents, for a premium game on mobile, it from the general public's point of view, that is highway robbery.
Well, and so
you and I know that is not the case, and people who make games and try to sell them for 99 cents or $2.99 have poured their hearts and souls into those games, and you have people like Machine Zone and Rovio and others like making a ton of money off of free-to-play games. Yeah.
So here's the thing, though, CJ, is this is our opportunity to help guide consumers, or at least our listeners, complain about the $99 in-app purchases. Those are legitimately evil.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, but nobody is.
No, but it's
buying
evil.
them.
It's
Nobody
terrible.
is. Nobody's
And so
buying those.
complain about those. Don't complain about the $10. Like, boycott and throw your anger at the $99 stuff, not the $10 stuff.
Well,
That's what I say.
what I think was probably more likely is a lot of people who used to play mobile games used to be open to spending $2.99 or 99 cents, and then didn't like free to play. They're just gone from mobile.
Yeah, that
entirely.
may be.
And that's
But I think
honestly very sad. And hopefully Super Mario Run brings some of those people back. But as I think you saw on Twitter and on the internet in general, people saw that $10 price tag, and they continue to think that it's highway robbery.
And yet, and we'll talk about the game in full later, but I went to the midnight launch of Pokemon so that I could make sure that when my daughter woke up in the morning, it was next to her alarm clock and she didn't have to wait another minute. And they said at the GameStop I was at that they had a larger show up for that game than they had for Call of Duty. And the Pokemon launch was at midnight and Call of Duty was at 9 p.m. So people, again, are willing to spend $40 for an on-the-go experience from Nintendo. This shouldn't be a shock. $10 is a great deal by comparison. And $40 is still totally reasonable for Pokemon.
But I think people compare it to the device that it's on, right? And the pricing of games that are on the device that you're asking about, and people are just too used to free on mobile. But that being said, let's go into some Switch rumors. Because in the last 2 weeks, we've heard a bunch of different things. Eurogamer says that there will be a version of Pokemon Sun and Moon called Pokemon Stars. So they're sort of back to the third version of Pokemon coming out for Switch. Probably not at launch, maybe not at launch. But apparently that's coming.
But wait a second, then it won't run in 3D. Oh, wait, that's not a problem anyway.
It doesn't. Exactly.
I'm kidding. I don't have any problem with that for real, but yes.
And then they also had a, I guess, game in the UK. The retailer had some kind of pricing information that got leaked. $250, yeah. Two SKUs, $250 and $300. We'll see if that ends up being true. The other thing, the other big rumor: Mario at launch, a 3D Mario.
Mario and Zelda at launch is insane. And here's the thing: if they do
Zelda
that,
at launch?
Well, here's the other rumor: Zelda not making launch. Breath of the Wild apparently.
Did they ever say Zelda would be at launch though?
They never said. They said 2017. For Zelda, they didn't say.
They never said launch.
A month. They did say
you're right.
The amiibos were coming out in March.
Okay.
So you're right.
But they didn't say anything about the game.
I think since it's also coming out on Wii U, it was widely assumed, perhaps incorrectly, that that game was actually being held back to be launched with the Wii U and the Switch.
Right. Apparently, the report, I believe, I think it's Laura Kate Dale. Is where a lot of this information is coming from, or Emily Rogers, either one. Apparently, the localization for Zelda is taking a really long time because there's a lot of content in the game. Apparently,
it's really hard to translate and from Japanese to English.
Apparently, the localization won't be wrapped up until December, and then they're looking at between 4 and 6 months of QA. So, not making launch apparently.
So people are getting upset that a game is not going to make launch that was never
actually
launched.
Right. But people are going to be upset about that. There's no question. Even with the Mario game coming out, they'll still be upset about that.
You could have a Mario game, you could have Mario Kart, you could have Smash Brothers, you could have Splatoon, all of that at launch of the Switch, and people would be like, "Well, where's my Metroid? Where's my Zelda?"
Yeah. Now, again, I'll be upset if there's neither a Mario or a Zelda. If they're like, we'll just give you another Luigi's Mansion and a Rogue Squadron, and you'll be fine.
Well, I'd take that.
Oh, boy. You're hanging out with the wrong people to start complaining about Luigi's Mansion, buddy.
That's right. Did you not realize that I gave Luigi's Mansion either a 9 or a 9.5? Like, I gave that a really high score in EGM.
Well, and we all grow and learn, and we're wiser men today than we were back then.
Not at all.
How's that copy of Panty Girls treating you?
That is not what it's called.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to clarify one more time. Criminal Girls 2 Party Favors.
Bunghole in one. Yes.
We know the name.
Yeah.
I've not actually turned it on. I don't know.
Yeah. No, but it's turned you on. It's weird how that works.
I set you up for that, didn't I?
Weird how that works.
That is. Speaking of being turned on, Watch Dogs 2. You hear about this? You see this?
Oh my goodness!
Apparently, it's got
detailed modeling,
realistic character modeling.
Yeah. I heard about that. My goodness.
And apparently, a guy in Europe got banned off of PSN for posting a screenshot of the fact that you can see everything down there.
Way up to
what?
Well, you can see everything.
Like the kidneys, Yeah.
Oh,
I'm channeling Patrick Stewart in Extras. If you ever seen that, I could see everything.
That is funny.
Great scene. Anyway,
it's the worst Patrick Stewart impression I've ever heard.
That wasn't my intention at all.
Say to me, my X-Men. Say that.
Make it number one.
There you go.
It does make me wonder how that modeling got in there, because that obviously wouldn't be necessary and would only present a liability. Even if they're buying models off of, like a Unity asset store or something like that. I've never seen model sets that are sold that way.
And you've looked.
Well.
Extensive search sessions.
No, let me just say, if there were kits like that, it would definitely stand out.
We were working on Sonic Boom and trying to figure out what textures you want to use, and
that's right.
One road leads to another, and
suddenly,
that's a surprise. We saw a similar thing, if you remember, with Beyond Two Souls, where the actress, what was her name?
Kate Blanchett.
No.
Ellen Page.
Ellen Page, yeah. Remember, she was really upset because they had a model that was not so discreet in there that people were able to pan the camera down on.
I don't remember that at all, actually.
I do remember. Like, you could, people were like hacking the game or something, and
yes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
There was a shower scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that at all.
Yeah, and
hold on a second. Let me go on Amazon. I got to order it real quick.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that there is precedent for this, but it is a strange thing. Yeah,
it's a strange thing. And then I heard they're going to patch the game, obviously, and patch up the model.
Now it's worth mentioning the guy who got banned. The ban was rescinded.
It was lifted later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
although it wasn't lifted,
it was
before
extended.
Being extended.
It was extended, and then they rescinded it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops. So I have heard that they're going to patch that out, but they're going to leave in male nudity.
Well, yeah.
So there you go.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Tighten up the graphics on level 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. That was from the CADcast. I made the same joke about that. So credit where credit is due. All right.
That's actually from an old commercial.
And that too. Assassin's Creed. They made an Ezio collection remaster.
Yeah, my eyes just boggled when I saw that came out. I was so excited about it.
Yeah. Well, they screwed up some of the graphics. They didn't tighten up any graphics on that. Probably could have used purchasing some pre-rendered models for that game.
Yeah. What's crazy though is when you look at the side by sides, the original consistently just looks better than the remastered version. And you saw those crazy climbing animations as well, right?
Yeah, they made the climbing animations like way too quick. They sped it up for some reason. So.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that's tricky. I know that there were some complaints also about the light to dark ratios on the Batman games as well, and. If you're not doing these things really carefully, you're going to upset people because the whole point is to get something that looks crisper than what's come before.
Right, and to get fans of the game who already may have finished them on the previous consoles to buy them again, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, they didn't quite do that. I'll link in the show notes the graphics. You can compare and contrast for yourself. how this looks.
And when
Polygon did a piece on it.
When that's done well, I was happy to buy The Last of Us again. I bought DMC
Absolutely.
again. I'm a massive Assassin's Creed fan. I've played through all of those games, and there isn't an Assassin's Creed this year. So if that had been a killer update of those 3 games that I love, I would have bought it right away, even at $60. But not after I saw that video.
I still think they should bring out, because they did like an extended game after Black Flag that was for
Rogue.
last gen consoles only.
Rogue. Yep.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Rogue. That they, I mean, that one they could have easily done a remaster of that, and I would have bought it. I would have bought it and played it because I heard it was really good. But at that point I wasn't buying 360 or PS3 games. So
yeah, well, if you have PlayStation now, you can get it that way. But yeah,
no, that's true. That's true. All right. And of course, right around now, we're at the 10-year anniversary and 15-year anniversary for a couple of consoles. So the 10-year anniversary of the Wii and the PS3.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. I think it was episode 4 of the Player One podcast where you can hear some line interviews that I did launch evenings for those 2 systems. People waiting in line basically just to eBay and Craigslist those. So that was fun.
Yeah, the allocations on those were absolutely insane, and
they
that
were
was
the worst.
Yep, and that was the one system that I waited more than 48 hours in line for. I literally
really wait, which system? Which
PlayStation 3.
Wow,
more than 48 hours. Where did you wait?
Outside the PlayStation Sony store at the Metreon. I was there. Okay. I wasn't by myself. Greg Orlando was with us. Steve Frost was with us, who used to write for PSN and or PSM rather.
PSM, yeah.
And was at Sega with me at the time. I remember when I took the days off and I was walking past the director of production, who was my boss, said, "Yep, we're gonna wait in line here for this PlayStation 3," and he's like, "Doesn't that come out like 2 days from now?" And I'm like, "Yep." And he put his hand up on his head like this to Stephen Frost and I with a big L. He gave us our days off. But it was absolutely insane. And then the worst thing of all, and the harshest part of that memory was once we finally got our stuff, poor Greg Orlando was followed home. And when he left to go to work, people broke into his apartment and stole both the brand new PlayStation 3 and his MacBook. And he was writing a story for Rolling Stone magazine at the time about, it was MTV News, about what the experience was like waiting for 2 days in line. And so he got story out of it. But yeah,
that's terrible. That's terrible.
Memories for you guys. Do you remember what that was like? Getting a PS3.
I got my PS3 on New Year's Eve using store credit at Best Buy.
Oh, nice.
Because they were hard to find right at launch, but then they got a lot easier to find.
Right. That's true.
Fairly quickly, and then the prices on eBay dropped quite fast. So fewer people were buying them to resell them, and I was able to get one on New Year's Eve.
And Phil, what about you?
I did not buy a PS3 until Metal Gear came out.
That's right.
Oh, that's right. That was probably the smartest play of all, because when I bought it,
I am not stupid enough to wait 2 days
in line.
Well, and that's the thing. When I got it, it's like, all right, I got it for what? Resistance and Talladega Nights, which came with it. You know?
It was the Blu-ray. It was all about Blu-ray, man.
Good job.
I tried to convince myself that was important. But
still have that copy of Talladega Nights?
I think I do, actually. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I still have mine.
Watched it since then. But yeah, I also remember, and this is going to stack onto the idiocy, for the Wii, everyone knew that was going to be really hard to find. And so I waited in line from about midnight till they opened at 10 with Jenny Sue and Greg Orlando again, actually, to get a pre-order ticket. This was like 2 months before it came out. So we had an overnight just to get the pre-order, because that's how GameStop did it. And we were not the first in line, I will tell you. then I found out after I had gone through all of that at Sega they were able to get everyone who wanted one a machine day one because of our partnership with Nintendo. So I ended up getting both of them, and one of the two ended up going to Dan Shu.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the time the Wii came out, I was working at New Type USA, and I was on Nintendo's press list. So I got a Wii U from Nintendo. I didn't have to wait in line.
That's nice.
Yeah. That was good.
I guess I'm the only one who paid for a Wii, apparently.
Well, and
no, I had to pay for mine, to be clear.
Did I say Wii U also? I should. If I said Wii U, I meant Wii. I meant original.
Yeah. The only machine I
think Greg also paid for his too.
Okay. Yeah. The only machine I ever got for free was the original Xbox.
I got that one for free too.
Yeah, Microsoft was.
They sent
those at us.
They sent Sendai like I don't know how many systems, but everybody got almost everybody got an Xbox.
Oh no, actually,
not only for the desk but also for home.
I didn't initially, and the incredible Mark Manzo got one and just said, "You know what? Ethan wants it even more than me," and gave me the one that he got for free.
Wow! Right.
And then Dan Leahy, seeing that, said, "Well, I'm the EIC. I can't just let Mark do that, and I keep one." So he gave Mark his. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
that was the kind of staff it was.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. We liked to party.
That's right, we did.
I remember walking into Best Buy and picking up the GameCube day one.
Yeah, I remember.
No real line for that one.
That one wasn't hard. I had that pre-ordered, and I was writing a review for Final Fantasy X up until like an hour before I had to go in and pick up my pre-order for the GameCube. So I was at the office at Ziff Davis, all night writing that, and just rolled that into getting the GameCube.
Huh. Alrighty. Well, should we talk about what we've been playing?
Sure.
I don't know, this constant back and forth of, yes, I went and stood in line and got my system. Yeah, I went and stood in line and got my system. Oh, I stood in line a little less, but I got my system. Is pretty exciting radio.
It's extremely exciting radio and video and all of that stuff right there.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying there?
Oh, nice.
Crying out loud.
What? What? What's wrong?
CJ just decides to put on his hat at this moment.
What
He's got his Pikachu hat.
I got my Pikachu hat on.
Usually a man sitting in an indoor environment wearing a hat is going bald. But in this case...
he's just a giant Pokemon nerd. Right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I also got I don't know if you can see this. I got my Pikachu shirt too.
And what the audience doesn't know is that shirt, that hat, that's all there is.
That's right. I'm not standing up from this chair.
My Pokemon hat is significantly cooler than yours.
What do you mean? Let's see it.
I don't have it. It's out in the living room.
Oh well, what is it? Describe it. Why is it so cool?
It's the if you go to the Pokemon Center website.
Yeah,
it's they have a hat that is covered with the old school sprites, the overworld Pokemon sprites.
Oh,
and it is fresh.
Fine then.
And
fine, Phil, you win.
You bet I do. You bet I do.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Okay, somewhere I have one of those Johto League hats.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna go get my hat.
Don't get your hat. This doesn't have to be. This doesn't have to be a how big of a Pokemon nerd are you contest. Doesn't have to be like that.
He's already left. CJ.
He left. Yeah, he's already gone. So Pokemon Sun and Moon came out.
Yes.
On Friday.
Yep.
I had already preloaded Moon, so I was ready to go in the morning.
And I went the physical route and ended up getting a copy for me and a copy for my daughter. I'm playing through Moon and she's doing Sun. We just had a really nice Sunday coffee break where she had her nice little hot chocolate and I had my coffee at Starbucks and we were playing together.
Very nice. Hey, Phil, nice hat.
Yeah. Look at that hat.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool, yeah. Not as cool as my Pikachu hat. I mean, come on.
So for those listening, it is a gray hat with black ink that shows like sprites of all of the original black and white.
Yeah, it's like their
Gen
mini
1
icon.
Pokemon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty
get
cool.
on the
It's pretty
YouTube.
stylish. Yep.
It's a awesome.
That's
That's
pretty
way
cool.
better
Yeah.
than your. What'd you get yours at Target?
Got mine at PAX West.
If
dude.
if
PAX
Kanye
West.
were to wear a Pokemon hat,
That's right.
the hat he'd wear.
That's right.
I
like to consider myself the Kanye of the people.
while I went digital for Moon, I did end up picking up a physical copy for my daughter to play of Sun.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And that is a damn good looking game. It
is so good looking.
The
Did you not play the
diffused
demo?
look.
played the demo,
I
right?
didn't know. I didn't play the demo.
You should have
Wait,
played the demo
wait, did Winnie play the demo?
She did, yeah.
Okay, good. So she's got her
Yeah.
her Ash Greninja.
Yes.
Well, and the demo also gave you items that you can trade in for, you can sell for cash money
Oh,
in
yeah.
the full game. So
Word.
there's that too.
I was a little taken aback first by the professor that has the jacket but no shirt. Taken aback a bit further when my daughter referred to him as Professor Hottie.
How old is she going now?
She's 9. She said it principally to make Daddy blush and laugh. But
even my daughter was commenting on that, but her comment was you can see his belly button.
Yeah.
My daughter's was that you can see his six pack. So.
Yikes.
Happy trails to you until we meet again.
Yes.
Amazon, they're jerks. They didn't ship my. I ordered the twin pack.
Okay.
The Amazon exclusive steel book that comes with both Sun and Moon, so both the wife and I can play it.
Yeah.
I was one person away at the midnight launch from getting that.
Oh, really?
Yep.
At the GameStop there?
Yep.
I was under the impression that was an Amazon exclusive.
Apparently
Nope.
not.
I guess not. Okay.
Well, I don't know if what they had at GameStop was a steelbook, but they definitely had a single package for both.
Oh, I think the Steelbook is Amazon exclusive, but they do have a package that had both versions. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm getting the fancy Steelbook because
Fancy.
Nice.
I'm a fancy pants.
So, but you didn't get it on time?
Just look at my
Or
hat.
didn't get it at all?
No, it's for some reason it's shipped late. It's actually shipping today. It's not going to arrive until Tuesday.
Well, you got to catch up because my daughter is very, very eager to beat you in battle. So,
well, I'm a Pokemon lover, not a battler.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't do the Pokemon battles. That's why she was so easily able to defeat me.
Well, and again, the thing that's crazy from a generational standpoint is poor Winnie. Like, she'll play against us, but there's no one in her school that has a 3DS, so she can't play with any of her friends. But,
Really?
Yeah. But waiting in line. What was really cool was to see multiple generations of people. A lot of people playing Pokemon Go while they were waiting in line, of course, and stuff like that.
Of course. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. I got a copy for my daughter, and she started playing, and I really began to appreciate the UI in Pokemon and how friendly it is for younger players. Like everything being color coded. Obviously there is some reading involved, especially when you're talking about attacks and learning and forgetting moves and whatnot, but it was surprisingly easy for her to play. And the experience share item, I know that gets a lot of hatred on the internet as being a cheat, but that has helped her.
Mindless grinding, that's totally cool.
Exactly. Has helped her on more than one occasion have Pokemon in her party that actually can continue after her main character has been defeated in combat.
Well, and
so
for that matter, I love that once you've defeated a Pokemon, you can see what they are weak or strong against.
Right.
That is so cool. I love that.
Well, and it's not going to tell you exactly how much life it's going to take off. It's just going to say it's effective, not very effective,
right,
or super effective. So that's great. And it has kept me from using attacks that won't do anything on certain Pokemon, which is fantastic. It's definitely helpful. And this one makes some changes to the Pokemon formula. There are no gym battles in this. It's trials, and you have to go up against the kahunas instead of gym leaders now.
Yep.
So it does feel quite a bit more linear than previous Pokemon games, because they end up like blocking your path. Like you can't just go anywhere like you sort of could in earlier Pokemon games, but even still you couldn't get too far off of the rails in the older games.
Well, and I started to find Pokemon X and Y, especially the big kind of labyrinthine cities and stuff. The navigation wasn't very clear. It was easy to get lost. I like not getting lost here, personally.
Yeah, really, you can't get lost.
Right.
And they're guiding you towards your next stop quite a bit. In fact, the map that is on the bottom screen through gameplay will actually show you with a little flag icon where you're supposed to be going. So, which also extremely helpful with my daughter playing. My daughter is 5, and when I told her about the flag on the map, that helped her quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
In fact, she was going through the first trial, and I was helping her out. And once she did that and defeated the Kahuna, I went back to my game to continue playing so I could get a little bit further and then tell her what to do. She was already on the second island. She already took the boat because she saw the flag and went there and already got ahead of me. It was great.
That's cool. I mean, again, I remember the worst experience I ever had with Pokemon was, I think it was Pokemon Black and White. I just got stuck, didn't know where to go or what to do next, and a guide couldn't really help me because, I couldn't figure out exactly where to pick up the guide and get me back on path, and so I just had to stop playing. That's just frustrating to me, and I like that this is more streamlined.
I like that a lot too.
Those children's games, they can get you.
It's kids' games. Yeah, this game is quite talky. It's got more cutscenes than your prior Pokemon games, but I like it. I like the story, and the game looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's a nice looking game.
The kind of diffuse look on it is really nice. It's kind of a softer look.
It is a softer look,
almost like someone smeared Vaseline on the lens or something, But
yes.
I
I like that. I honestly like the trials and the mixing up the gameplay that way. I mean, in previous Pokemon, what I would do, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this, is go into a gym, face all of the little gym cronies or whatever, and leave, go to a Pokemon Center and heal in between each one. And now in the trials, you have to stick in the trial area until it's done. You can't go back out to a Pokemon Center, at least not with the first trial. I don't know if this carries over. But that made it a little more important that I had my team leveled up and ready to go before trying to challenge the trial. So, good way to mix up the gameplay. I like Team Skull a lot too. They are so inept and kind of dumb. It's fantastic.
I just think it's interesting that Ethan likens the graphics to having Vaseline smeared all over the screen, which after one of his Vita sessions with Party Girls 2 is probably a sensation not wholly unfamiliar with him.
Nice. Now, to be clear, I was a film major, and that is literally something that you do if you're shooting on film, is to put Vaseline on the lens.
Yeah, it's something that happens at other times too, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. In this one, and I don't know, I don't think this was in previous games, where you can set in the options when you pick up a new Pokemon, when you catch a new Pokemon, you can decide to automatically send it to a box in the PC, or you can have it manually ask you if you want to immediately put it in your party. I think that's new. I don't recall it from other versions.
If your party's full?
Yeah, your party's full.
If your party's full, I believe it used to just automatically send it to your PC.
That's what I'm saying. It used to. But now you can choose to have it ask you what you want to do with it, send it to a PC, or put it in your party immediately.
Or send someone else to your PC?
Exactly.
I understand.
Yes.
That might be new.
I think that is new. It's a good it's a good change. I like it. I'm digging it.
Yes.
You remember in X and Y how they had on the lower screen all that internet networking junk with faces and all that? All that's out. Now they have like a separate kingdom area that I don't even really know what's going on there. Honestly, like it populates it with players that you've met either locally or over the internet. I'm not exactly sure how it works though. It's a little obtuse, a little weird still. So, but I'm enjoying the gameplay.
Cool.
I picked Rowlet for my starter.
Yeah.
Yeah, the grass type Pokemon.
Oh yeah, I chose the water one. I forget his name. Poplio. And he's the lamest of the three, but my daughter chose the fire one, so I need to
So did my daughter.
Something more powerful. Yeah.
The day before it came out, I showed my daughter a picture of the three starters and asked her which one she would want to start with. And she pointed to Litten, of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah, Litten's awesome. But Rowlet's where it's at.
How is Poplio the lamest? Poplio's awesome.
The internet said Poplio was the lamest.
Poplio is fantastic.
Did you choose Poplio?
He's the one I'm going to choose.
Oh, right. That's right.
When I get my game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of weird that they didn't ship that out immediately. Are you a Prime? Your Prime?
I am a Prime. They did.
You spent weeks taking Ethan to task about ordering games online.
That's right.
And now it comes back to haunt you.
It's true. This is the first time it's ever happened, though, in a long time. I don't know the last time I've had a game miss release date delivery.
Yeah,
they did throw me a gift certificate to make up for it being late, though. So
I would hope so.
Yeah,
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ordered the strategy guide, as I sometimes do. Order the Pokemon game strategy guides.
Did you order the $100 strategy guide?
No, I did not. No, that one is already down to like $72 on.
Oh, well.
Amazon. But
by
still,
Grandfather's hammer.
Still
savings.
Still not going with that. I mean, the information is the same in the $14 version versus the $129.
You get better maps.
No, you don't. You don't, though. You don't.
You get it's more gooder walkthrough.
No.
Yes.
So I ordered the regular version, but it hasn't shipped yet.
Oh, really?
And there's no information on when it will ship, so I don't even know what's happening with that. With the strategy guide, there's no information.
Were you able to even figure out how to get out of the house at the beginning of the game?
Just barely. I had my daughter do it first.
Oh, okay, well, that's good. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's a great game. And Ethan, you're on mute or something because I can't hear you. Or your microphone's off, maybe.
This is nice. We should
do this more often.
Sit back and enjoy this time. Yeah, still not hearing you, Ethan.
Nope.
It's like taking a little vacation of our own right now. It's like
when I saw him move the microphone around, and then I stopped being able to hear him.
Pokemon.
Can't hear you.
Nope.
Still not doing it.
Holding it closer to your mouth isn't going to make it work.
It might.
Nope.
Ethan, you might have to leave and come back.
Yeah. Or alternately.
No, don't say it. Don't say it, Phil. Don't say it. Don't say it. Just leave. Don't do it.
How did you know?
I knew it was going to happen.
Have I become that predictable?
Yes. Yes, you have. Funny.
Yeah. So how are you today, CJ?
Doing well. Doing well.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Are we just editing this chunk out of the show, or do we soldier forth?
Why even edit it out? This is radio gold.
I know. Well,
I think Ethan was showing his more expensive version of the Playing with Power strategy guide. I got the $14 version.
You got the cheapo one, huh?
I got the cheapo one, yeah, because I wasn't sure what kind of quality it was going to be. I didn't want to pay for the more expensive one. Turns out, like, tissue paper thin stock on the pages in here. It's really quite a shame. And they didn't actually reprint Nintendo Power pages. They took the text from them.
Right.
And reprinted them. It's not like duplications of the actual pages, which is kind of what I was expecting and hoping for. And I tried to play the original Legend of Zelda using their little guide as a guide for it.
Yeah.
And they referenced the fact to, like, look at the overworld map. There's no overworld map in the book. They have maps of the individual levels. They don't have the overworld map.
They don't have the overworld map in there?
That's like the most important map to have.
Yeesh.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Ridiculous.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So
what I was going to say was that on Amazon I was able to get Playing with Power.
Yes.
Right.
Which I also got. I got the cheap version. I got the inexpensive paperback version.
Oh, okay.
Not the hardcover one that you were showing to the camera.
Ah, okay. Yeah, pretty nice though, huh?
It's all right. It's all right, except for the fact that the Zelda strategy guide area does not have an overworld map.
Riddled with errors.
Yeah, it's kind of riddled with errors. But
urging you to look at maps that they don't actually have printed in the book, apparently.
Yeah, you know what? It reminds me of strategy guides and video game magazines of the past. Perfectly.
Right.
With
that's what they were going for. I was disappointed. I was looking through the because I got it as well, of course. I got the hardcover one.
Yeah.
I was looking through the Kid Icarus guide to see if they had do you remember in Kid Icarus the treasure rooms where you have like 8 different pots that you can look in?
Sure.
And if you smash one open that has a little like Grim Reaper dude in it, you lose all the treasure from that room. But if you can open all the pots without finding him, you get a super special elaborate prize.
Yes.
And there's a very complicated method to figure out what the pattern of the pots are in the room, so you can go through and get the top prize every time. And they ran it Nintendo Power way back in the day.
I remember.
And I was thinking, oh, well, they have to run this because it was such a complicated method, but it's for an actual pretty cool reward. But they do not reveal that secret technique. And I was thinking, well, that's
a shame. That's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who they had writing this book or compiling it or whatever, but
that's a shame.
They did not.
I ended up for Zelda 1. I ended up having to get out the strategy guide I have for the bonus disc on the GameCube. I don't remember that.
Geez, yeah.
They did a full Nintendo Power strategy guide for that, and that has the overworld map for Zelda 1. And
that's right.
I used that.
I have that strategy guide as well.
It's a great little guide.
Yeah.
That was around the time when I decided I was going to collect Nintendo first-party strategy guides. You see.
Yes, back when they were still publishing the guides themselves.
That's right, and when they were really good.
Yeah. I just unrolled my giant Zelda overworld map that Bill Mudron drew.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, see? That's what you
great.
do. Just have that hanging up in your room there.
Yeah, huh?
Have it hanging right above your TV so you can reference it at all times.
I do really miss that era of these monthly guides in the magazines like Nintendo Power. There was something really special about having that along with the game and just poring over those pages when you were not actually playing the game.
I agree.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
fantastic. Now I surf the internet, surf Twitter.
Yeah, and for me, mostly YouTube. I just look up specifically the area I'm stuck in, and you can always find it on YouTube. And it's
Yeah, that's
functional.
true.
It's probably better in terms of getting exactly what you want, but it's just not as elegant, I guess. That's why I bought that book, because even something like Balloon Fight, which there's no reason anyone should ever have to write 4 to 6 pages on Balloon Fight, but
darn it,
it's
the authors did.
Yeah, it's nice to see that. I mean, it's better than like 4 to 6 pages on Batman the arcade game or something like that. But
Oh boy.
Yikes! I will always buy a strategy guide for the Pokemon games and the Zelda games. Those are the ones that I'll buy strategy guides for.
yeah, makes sense.
All right.
Also, just one last thing on Pokemon.
Sure.
I was in the middle of World of Final Fantasy as I switched over to Pokemon, and I'm enjoying World of Final Fantasy, but when you were talking about the user interface and how elegant it is in Pokemon, you really, really start to appreciate that when you're playing kind of an also-ran Pokemon and seeing how clumsy anything that's not Pokemon is by comparison.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's taken years for them to refine things, and they have certainly made a lot of cool refinements, and they've thrown out a lot of things and just reorganized everything. It's kind of interesting to me how you have a game like Pokemon where the formula is established, and yet you can still have portions of the interface that get thrown out or replaced or made easier, where in some franchises I think they would play to the more hardcore of their fan base, but Pokemon I think makes decisions where they might actually piss off their core fan or some of their hardest, most loyal fans by, doing the thing with the attacks, showing you whether it's going to be effective, not effective, or super effective.
Right.
And those kinds of usability things, I think, honestly make it a better game for me and for my 5-year-old daughter, but not necessarily the hardest of the hardcore. Which I was never the type of player that's like, I want to get a shiny version of this Pokemon, and they have to have this such and such disposition. Like I look at the gaff thread for Pokemon Sun and Moon, where somebody spent like 2 hours trying to get a certain kind of starter, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like,
people are hardcore about their Pokemon.
They are, and I don't understand it.
Well, and what's increasingly difficult from a development side is you have to be able to cater to both the player like your daughter, who is doing it literally for the first time and needs a simple user interface, and those super core guys.
Yeah.
That's a really tough balancing act.
Very true. Very true. All right. I'm going to go on to what else I've been playing. So it's commercial time. Drum roll. Because Headlander.
Oh boy!
The previously mentioned Game of the Year contender, is now out on the Xbox One. So you can now pick it up via Steam, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Humble Store, or it's going to be on GOG tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
nice.
So you can pick that up. It's on the Windows 10 store as well if you buy your games that way. And it's off. We've discounted 40% for the launch of the Xbox One version.
And it is, for real, one of the most unique and clever games of the year. Nothing else like it on the market.
Well, I thank you for saying that very much. And then also I want to talk about, we skipped this last week because we were talking about the NES Classic so much. We also put out Small Radios, Big Televisions, which is a game by developer Fireface, which is Owen Deary out of Canada. This is a sort of graphic adventure puzzle game, sort of point-and-clicker game with an ambient soundtrack and a really sort of interesting look to it. I'll post a link to some video on it so that people can see it. I think it's much better seen than having me actually describe it. But you are brought into a virtual world of these factories, and you have to find these cassette tapes, which if you magnetize them, they'll bring you to an alternate virtual world where you'll find keys to get to new areas of the factories, and you'll open up new factories. It's a great little game. really relaxing game. It would probably work real well in theater mode on PlayStation VR. It's for PlayStation 4 and PC. So I'll link to that. It's like $11, $12. It's definitely worth it. Definitely worth your time. I'll link to it in the show notes. Anyway, published by Adult Swim Games, developed by Fireface.
Nice.
So there you go. That's pretty much what I've been playing.
Which of those two games is the better?
They are both excellent games. Well worth your time.
Good.
Playing.
Very good.
I cannot decide between the two.
I understand. It's like choosing your favorite child.
That's exactly what it is.
Which Ethan did, which was weird. Ethan's told me which one is his favorite, and I just thought, that's terrible.
Well, there used to be 4. Now there is 2. There will soon be 1.
Well, huh?
What? What?
It's a brutal family tradition.
This podcast has become uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable.
The Einhorn household has their own little purge every year, I guess. Jeez Louise. I was just cracking wise, and Ethan got really dark with it.
Totally.
Yeah,
Phil, have you been playing anything besides not Pokemon?
I've been waiting for my Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'm a little. I would be playing Lego Dimensions again because the new
Sonic
batch of Lego Dimensions came out. Sonic, Gremlins, Fantastic Beasts, and Where Could They Be? And they all came out. E.T.
Oh yeah.
Dream Terrestrial came out. But I'm a little broke at the moment, having just had surgery. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
I did hear about that.
I have to wait a little bit for my funds to replenish before I can pick those up. But
so, by the way, are you gonna let Finn play Pokemon too? I mean, you're getting the 2 copies already.
Yeah, one for me and one for my wife.
Is he gonna play your copy?
You got to be able to read.
Yeah, he will. He's excited to sit and watch me play, just because he can't really read enough yet to play. So he'll be watching me play.
Okay.
So he's very excited about it. He actually has my phone right now. He was playing some Pokemon Go.
I see.
So he's definitely in a Pokemon mood.
All right.
Yeah, but all I've really been playing this week is continuing to retro it up with the old NES Classic Edition.
Yeah, I
Nice.
want to add to that too, in that I'm really happy that my experience with it hasn't been, okay, I played it for 2 days and now I got my retro fix. These games really do stand the test of time, and I'm having a great time going back to them. My kids are still interested in them. It's something I think I'm going to be playing for a long time. Even going back to the original Super Mario Brothers, it's just fun to see if I can do it without having to go down any warp pipes to try to get to the end of 8-4 and all of that. I love it.
Yeah, that's the best way to play. And
I'm playing through the Marios without warps for sure.
The reason I think it's so fun, save states.
Yeah.
Like being able to put it down at a moment's notice if you have to go do something.
Yeah.
That's a great convenience.
And I was even playing Tecmo Bowl today, and I have no interest in any Madden games, but that's a fun little game.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. Tecmo Bowl's a fun game.
I still have never played a Tecmo Bowl game.
Really?
Never. No.
Never. Like, back in the day, you never played the NES one?
Nope. Never played it.
That's crazy. Wow. Even I've played it. Jeez.
I played Madden 94 on the Genesis. And then NFL Blitz.
I think I like...
That was pretty much it.
I think I like Tecmo Bowl better than the Genesis era Maddens myself. And NFL Blitz is tough to beat, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's worth trying. Ghosts and Goblins still doesn't age very well.
Well, that was not a very good port.
That's true. That's true. It
was not a good port back in the day, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Balloon Fight is still a piece of shit.
Balloon Fight... Well, I mean,
I don't know if I'd go that far.
It is what it is, right?
It's a joust.
It's a joust type game. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
not
Ice Climber.
Right.
It's not Urban Champion. Come on, it's not.
No.
Yeah, it's not a terrible game.
That's an Iwata game. You're
Besmirching.
casually, yeah.
True.
So just think about that, buddy boy.
I want to go back and play some Castlevania, and maybe I'll actually finish the original Metroid. I haven't done that ever.
Yeah.
So
Really?
I never actually owned Metroid back in the day. I rented it a lot.
Oh, okay.
Never owned it. So
crazy, man.
Yeah.
And the nostalgia, so much of it is tied to holding that controller. It shouldn't be that important a part of the nostalgia, but it really is a key part of the experience.
Why shouldn't it be?
I don't know, because it should be something that, like, you know, if you watch a movie, you should be able to see a movie in a different theater or at home or something like that. And I think that it carries over pretty well. But with games, it's like the specific controller that you're holding. You know, I'm not really back to 6th grade unless I'm holding that controller. That's a huge difference for me playing this versus playing, you know, in past years on the Wii. And the Wii even had a controller that was sort of like that, but it just didn't feel the same way, and so it didn't transport me.
Okay. Yeah, and also the whole retroness of having to be close to the television and pressing the reset button.
Yeah.
It brings you back.
It does.
Yeah, I like the control pad, you know, but I also have been using the Wii U Pro controller on it. Or not the Wii U Pro controller, the Wii Classic controller.
Have you really?
Yeah, and it works real well. I like
Weird.
it. I know.
Weird.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
was that all you had, Phil?
Yeah, that's it. I played through. I finished Mega Man 2, and
Yeah.
I'm working my way through
Nice.
working my way through Mario 1 and 2 at the moment.
Yep.
So,
Yeah,
games.
those are fun games, and Mario 3 is really fun to go through without using warps too. Mario 3, especially that Sky World, is a lot harder than I remembered it being, but probably because I used the warps
Yeah.
to get past it, so didn't have to deal with it. But yeah, I think last year, right before Mario Maker came out, I went through Super Mario Brothers 1 without warps, and that's a lot of fun.
Okay.
And it can be done fairly quickly too.
Yeah, the game's way less than an hour long.
Yeah, it's short.
Yes.
Alrighty, Ethan, what do you got?
Yeah, so outside the ones we've been talking about already, I started in on Watch Dogs 2. And it's set in San Francisco, which is pretty cool and really fun to go to locations that I'm familiar with. Of course, the biggest treat so far has been going to the Ubisoft San Francisco office, which is photorealistic up to and including the posters for the Assassin's Creed movie, and it is right next to the ballpark, which is the case in real life as well. So, of course, you find that once you just start going down the street in an earnest desire to do as you would on Google Maps and just kind of see where the other real buildings are, it does fall apart from there, but you wouldn't expect everything to be modeled out. But when you see something that's familiar, it's great. The tone of the game.
Did you happen to find Urine Seabake's old place?
I tried to find that, but it went to an expressway instead. Yeah.
Oh, really?
There was no Cuddle Hut to be found. Yeah.
I was going to say it'd be fun to visit that and urinate in the fountain right outside your place. Just like so many others have.
You know, actually, if I could have found it and the game enabled urination in public, I probably would have done that. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
But, the game is overall a much, much lighter tone than the original one. The original Watch Dogs, to me, had a really, really unlikable lead character with a motivation that was not compelling. If you remember the whole thing, like his niece died and he's trying to protect his sister, and he's sounding rough like Christian Bale Batman, but he just has a stupid bandana on his mouth. It was a bunch of nonsense tied to some kind of interesting mechanics that were about hacking. The hacking stuff is as ludicrous here as it was there in terms of any reflection on reality and how hacking would actually work, but it's still a ton of fun. And here you're getting a set of characters that remind me more of like Sunset Overdrive. than they do of the original Watch Dogs. If you can forgive the kind of goofiness and we're trying to fight the system type thing that keeps popping up. It's actually quite a lot of fun, and they have done something really smart with the game, which is to start satirizing kind of real current events, kind of pop culture issues, like you go and invade the apartment of a guy that's a lot like Martin Shkreli, who's trying to get an exclusive rap album from the famous rapper that sounds a heck of a lot like a real life rapper, you're pulling his funds while he's trying to make the deal. I won't say anything more than that because I don't want to spoil anything. They have something that is a really detailed riff on the Sony hacks, which was a lot of fun to play through. And these things are kind of multi-part events. They go over the course of like 5 or 6 missions before you finish kind of a chapter. And it's just really fun stuff set in a city I love. And it is my Assassin's Creed this year, since there's no Assassin's Creed. So I really like the kind of Ubisoft open world games, and this is one of their better ones.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. Any questions from you guys on it, or anything you'd be curious about if you wanted to figure out whether or not you'd want to buy it?
Is the story any good? Like, is it actually worth doing anything in the game, or does it feel too disjointed? The story, with the whole over the top, oh yeah, we're gonna hack the world kind of thing. Like, I really don't have much care for stories like that. So
yeah, if that's going to be a distraction for you, you may have a problem with this game, because it is the whole like fight the system type thing, and the enemy, the big bad in it is just kind of a Microsoft or Google style company gone wrong, and so it's low on stakes and drama and high on just kind of sandbox.
Okay. I think also there was some quote from an Ubisoft creative director or something that they want to make more games that are open world with non-linear stories. I don't know if I agree necessarily with that, but but there you have it. I also would have preferred an Assassin's Creed this holiday, but as long as they bring one out next year and it's good, I'll be happy.
Yeah, actually, kind of a funny thing that happened to me when I picked it up. I bought it in San Francisco, and they had some Ubisoft marketing guys outside the GameStop, and they were handing out $15 gift cards to people who would answer some questions about why they bought Watch Dogs. So, it took 5 minutes, and I didn't give them any of the answers they wanted. I wasn't trying deliberately to be a jerk, but it was kind of funny because they're like, so what excited you about this game? And I said, well, nothing really. I mean, I said, Assassin's Creed isn't coming out this year, and this is about as close as I can get, so that's kind of why I chose it. And they're like, well, what did you think about the first one? And I was like, well, the first one, it was fine. The open world wasn't as good as Grand Theft Auto, and the character was just kind of a grovelly Batman wannabe. But, I like the hacking stuff. And they're like, what do you like about the hacking stuff? They're like so excited about it, Oh, my Lord. Yeah, and I was like, it's not very realistic, but it's fun. But yeah, I mean, at the end, they're like, and what do you think about, buying DLC and microtransactions? And I didn't go down the path I could have, but I just simply said, with DLC provided, I know what the cost of it is and what I get. I'm cool with that. And
I want to talk to you about something I call sunsetting.
Yeah, I chose after some debate not to be that guy, but I did get my $15 gift card, and fortunately, when I was criticizing the first game, at least one of the guys seemed to think it was kind of funny. So yeah,
nice. The first game was kind of terrible in general, though.
I don't think it was terrible. I just think it was uninspired and not what we hoped it would be.
That was the first game where I pre-bought it digital and regretted the purchase fairly quickly into the game.
Did you finish it? Did you beat it?
No. Of course not.
I did. I liked it.
wanted my
much as you did.
$60 back fairly quickly in the experience. I just didn't like it. Yeah,
That's
not a
too
fan.
bad.
Not a fan.
Well, then you probably wouldn't be a fan of this one. Again, the thing that's really
No.
tough to me is any open world game that has a lot of driving around in cars. It's like
Oh,
you're going to be compared to GTA, you know?
Yeah, no thanks. Sunset Overdrive is much more my speed in that
Yeah.
respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you got there, Ethan?
Nope, that was about it. Yeah.
And Pokemon, Watch Dogs and
And
Pokemon.
Pokemon and Valkyrie. Yeah.
Eve Valkyrie.
Yep.
Yeah. The barf coaster,
Yes.
as you may want to refer to it later. All right. Let's do tweets then. What do you say?
Awesome.
You like that?
I love it.
All right. Hacker Alias Feature Preacher says, anyone on the Player One podcast rushing to buy one of these Genesis or Atari minigame consoles? And he included a picture from a retailer with the flashback, the Coleco, and the Sega Genesis portable.
Yes.
I have never rushed to purchase one of those consoles. Because they honestly, like, if I want to play some of those old games, what does it offer? It doesn't offer save states. It doesn't really offer anything outside of just the games. So I have no interest.
Well, outside of the standalone SpongeBob game, which was really good.
Yeah. SpongeBob
from
SquarePants Dilly Dabbler.
Yes, from Jackson.
Dabbler.
Yes.
Yeah.
DD.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is the build quality on those products and the emulation is always known to be kind of notoriously bad.
Yeah.
I think the reason the Nintendo one was so exciting was that it was a first-party product, and you knew that it was going to be good, and it is. It's a very, very high-quality product. It's like the AAA version of that type of product. And if somebody decided to do a wired Genesis version that was just like that with that level of emulation quality and interface, sure, but that's not what's out in the market right now.
Yeah, I actually
True.
have the Atari Flashback and the Genesis one for a video game class that I taught over the summer, and they are awful. They are just, the emulation is horrible. The controllers are garbage. There's not a good thing I can say about them.
And hopefully what companies will see is if you do something that is a high quality build that actually caters to nostalgia, instead of just trying to keep the cost as cheap as possible, you don't have to be $30 or $40. You can be 60 and make it worthwhile. I mean, if somebody at Hudson decided to do a little TurboGrafx and it was done like this, that would be great. I'd love it. I'd buy it. And I don't think that people would be waiting out, outside stores. But I think that on Black Friday they'd get a decent number of sales.
Yeah.
Well, the unfortunate thing is that Konami owns Hudson now, so you'll never be getting that. Just say goodbye to that right now. I think it would be interesting if other companies follow Nintendo's lead. I think it would be doubly interesting if Nintendo decides to do a Super Nintendo version of this. Like, I think a lot of people are figuring that they likely will now, or do maybe another version of the NES Classic with even more games or different games on it.
Yeah.
But if Sega did one, I'd maybe buy that. If Sony did like a mini PlayStation and called it PlayStation TV, oh wait, they may have used that name already, but what they could do is they could fix it by doing a mini PS1 and include games. I mean, PlayStation TV, you can already kind of do that.
But if, again, it's all about the packaging. That becomes a little harder in terms of cost with the controller and all that, but still, if they could do it, that would be great. And yeah, if I was still at Sega, I'd be pushing really hard to do a high quality version of that. I'm sure someone is. I'm sure
someone is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Certainly. All right. Hacker Alias Miri says, how did you teach your kids gaming and what games to start with? My 4-year-old has no patience. He loves it, though. So I think I started with Kirby Epic Yarn. actually.
Oh, that's a good one
which-
to start with. Yeah.
Which my daughter still occasionally wants to go back to. And she will only play the first couple levels and lose interest, but the first couple levels are extremely easy and with really no danger whatsoever.
Yeah.
And fairly simple controls on the Wii remote, and it's available on the Wii U Virtual Console. You can download the Wii game to your Wii U, and extremely easy with that one. My daughter started playing Pokemon. I think I did a level for her in Super Mario Maker that has no enemies in it. It's just something easy to run through, and she was able to do that. She likes the Zelda games, at least at the very start, where there's no enemy threat nearby.
Right. That's so interesting. Yeah, Nintendogs was one of the first that my daughter got really into. Style Savvy, which is actually really good. And again, these games are not about beating progressively harder bosses based on reflexes.
Right.
They're very good games for girls and welcome girls into gaming, and also they're not too challenging for young players. The thing that sent my daughter over the top was when she was finally able to read and play Pokemon, but she also has put close to 200 hours into Fantasy Life. So that's another really good one because it's not too hard and you have all these different roles you can play and kind of play at your leisure. Animal Crossing is a huge one too.
Yeah, Animal Crossing. Before I gave my daughter her own save file on that, but she enjoys just taking my character and wandering around the village.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and she kind of makes up her own story that's happening in games, which is sort of fun. In the chat, Hacker Alias worth Nintendo asked if I tried her out on Yarn Yoshi, since I mentioned Epic Yarn. Not really, no. She tried it and thought it was too hard, and put the controller down. So, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I also learned the hard way that you don't want to go too early on games that require movements of the camera. So we got the Disney Infinity, and we're really excited to share it with the kids. It was way too much for my son at the time, and even my daughter got really, really frustrated with having to try to move the camera while playing. She was okay with the toy box stuff because she could kind of ignore that, but that's something to consider too.
Same with my daughter as well. Yeah. Dealing with moving the camera around was not something she wanted to do.
Yeah.
Finn does okay with that right now, actually. He, I didn't sit down and try showing him games. I just kind of played games as I do. And he just started picking it up. We did get him a little kid's Kindle Fire, just so he had a tablet to play with, which he really gets into. He just plays. They have a pretty big selection of kid-centric games on there that he will play. Just kind of getting him used to the touchscreen controls and things like that. And then he saw me playing the Godzilla game, and of course, because it's Godzilla and he loves Godzilla, he really wanted to play that. So he took to that, and he's actually pretty good at the Godzilla game now, and that game kind of taught him moving the camera around and things like that. So
that game's got a terrible camera.
Does it?
No, I only played like a few minutes of it.
I was like, have you played that?
I bought it for like $10 on a PSN sale, and I played a little of it. Yeah.
Oh, and a quick aside on that, I can't wait for the Black Friday stuff. Just everyone remember to look at that next week for Xbox Gold and PSN.
We should do this tweet from Hacker Alias Gunstar Gamer, who says, "Are there any Black Friday deals catching your eye?" I will say so. I think all of the stores are likely to do Black Friday sales. Microsoft kind of getting out there early with their deals. That I think you can already find a lot of those on the web, and then they are teasing that they're going to have Gears of War 4 on sale. At a discount. We'll see how deeply that gets discounted. I'm sort of interested in that. Maybe. Yeah,
you'd like it. It's a good game. It really is.
Yeah. I'm interested in that $99 3DS. I don't know why I am. I already have a 3DS.
Why do you need another 3DS?
I don't need another 3DS, but yeah.
But here we go.
But here we are. here we are.
Yeah.
I'll be watching mostly what deals come up for digital, since I only buy digital games. So.
Well, and if you're not only buying digital games, Limited Run is also one to look at for Black Friday, because not only do they have a new game launching for pre-order, but you also are going to have a Black Friday special on a couple of games that they have limited numbers remaining from earlier sales. So instead of having to spend $200 to get like fees and stuff like that, you might be able to get it that day.
Alrighty then.
Yep.
Hacker Alias, knee first. Phil, were you looking at any Black Friday deals, or were you going to say something there?
No, I'll just wait and see what shows up. There's nothing I'm very actively looking for. Maybe find some deals on Lego Dimension stuff, though.
There you go.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Hacker Alias knee first one says Ratchet and Clank in 4K with HDR is jaw-dropping. Is there a game that could get you to upgrade your PS4 and TV before big price drops?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't see any reason to buy a new TV right now.
No,
yeah,
as I said,
to that too.
For me, the big move is away from the TVs, and so the VR, the Nintendo Switch, those are super exciting to me. But as I've said in so many episodes past, it is so hard to find time to use the TV that I just, if I got a 4K TV, that would become the family TV again, and I'd still only get an hour to a half hour a night on it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think if this was back when I was, mid-20s, no family, lots of disposable income.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, of course I care about 4K, and yeah, I would have bought a PS4 Pro, no problem. Now, no, I usually sit further than 10 feet away from the screen anyway, so no, not interested.
Does anyone know anyone who picked up the PS4 Pro? Because I would love to hear firsthand if it was worth it.
I believe Bill Modron picked one up.
What does he think? Have you talked to him about it at all?
I have not yet, no. I need to. I'm sure he's talked about it on
Boy
his,
Howdy
Boy Howdy podcast, but
okay.
I need to catch up on that.
Yeah,
it's just weird because in my bubble, the PS4 Pro is like the biggest non-event of the year, which is weird because it's a PlayStation 4.5. It should be really exciting.
Well, the Xbox One S, right? I mean, or the Slim, that has 4K and HDR, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And that also is like, well, not going to upgrade to that either. So
right.
I am sure that there is a consumer out there. Like I was saying, if I was in my mid-20s and gaming all the time on a TV, yeah, I'd care. But I don't anymore. And I'm completely out of that age group, and most of my friends are too. So.
Yep.
All right. Hacker alias Rich Grisham says that he just scored an original NES with a bunch of games. Can I connect it to a modern TV? I don't have any old school TVs left. Now, I don't know if you've done this with the regular RCA.
Yeah.
You can plug it in. I forget which component.
Oh, that's right.
You can plug it into. It's either the green or the blue. I don't remember which one it is. But one of them will take an RCA signal.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And that's going to look great.
It looks like absolute dog crap. But hey, if you bought an NES and you have the RCA outputs, then you can use that to get something out of it at the very least.
I guess.
Otherwise, you're looking at an upscaler probably, which I don't know. I don't know if that would be worth it if you're just a casual gamer going to play a couple NES games. I would still go with the yellow video connector into one of the component inputs to do that. I've done that a couple of times, and it's worked out all right.
Yeah, I kind of wish I had kept at least one nice CRT TV. Yeah. Just for the classic games, but those things are just so chunky and hard to find space for.
True.
I still have my Sony Vega in storage.
That's a good call. Good call.
Yeah.
Yes, just indeed.
Just in case.
Hacker alias Bussy Andy says, Tried but failed to acquire a classic NES Mini. Any suggestions on getting one from a retailer? I'm not paying up for one.
Wait a couple
First
weeks.
of all, good for
Wait a
you
few
for
weeks.
not paying up. That's really smart.
Yeah. Wait a few weeks. If you follow video game Twitter, you'll probably know when one of those comes up. I guess Walmart.com has been putting them up every day at 2 p.m. Pacific, I want to say.
Yes.
And some people have been successful going that route. There's a website called nowinstock.net that I used to get my daughter's Hatchimal for her birthday, and it worked extremely well for that. It'll give you desktop notifications when something goes in stock, and they refresh everything, and it's pretty well. And then they do track the NES Mini, so that might be worth it. Those would be my best bets there.
No.
That'd be my strategy. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck getting one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Hacker Alias, Legend of Starfy, says, what is the most exciting hardware to pick up this holiday? NES Mini, PS4 Pro, VR gear, or something else?
VR gear. Depends.
Yeah.
I mean, depends on what you want. There could be a really valid argument for NES Classic as well. Or if you are a 20-something that wants to get a brand new TV, if I was that person, nothing would be more exciting than the PS4 Pro in that instance.
True.
But for me, it's VR.
For me, it's
Any of
probably
them.
the NES Classic.
Anything but the PS4 Pro.
Anything but the PS4 Pro. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's be realistic.
Well, and actually,
Yeah.
to extend that question, I know you guys both canceled on the PSVR. Do you regret it at all, or do you think it was the right call?
Not for a second.
I don't regret it. I think it was the right call for right now. For me, it's all about what happens next year with software. And I think there are a few games still that have yet to come out from Sony, like Farpoint was one that they were showing at E3 that I thought looked super, super interesting. So, no, I don't think really with any video game hardware, there's no harm in waiting, because the only thing you miss out on at launch is, everybody the sort of shared launch experience. Whereas if you wait, you can get usually all the games for cheaper, and there's no downside to waiting, is what I'm trying to say. So even when the Switch comes out in March, it's I want that thing day one, but honestly, there is going to be no harm in waiting for that either. So I don't regret PSVR waiting on that.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
All right. Hacker Alias. Let's close it out with this one. This will be a good one. Hacker Alias RWebA says the PS4 Pro is right ugly. What do you think is the ugliest console of all time? For me, it is the North American Super Nintendo.
That's ridiculous, because there is such a thing as an Atari Jaguar with a CD add-on.
Yeah.
That's true. That kind of looks like a toilet.
Toilet.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the worst. That has to be the worst. Add the controller to that, and there's no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As much as I love the TurboGrafx 16, it's not a nice looking system.
It's not as
Definitely
bad
true.
as the Jaguar, though.
No, it's not as bad as the Jaguar. I'm just saying it's not attractive.
Right.
What about the Game.com? Where do you lie on the Game.com?
I think it's a terrible piece of hardware, but the industrial design is still not as bad as the Jaguar.
You think the Jaguar is the worst? Is
Yes.
the absolute worst?
It looks like
Okay.
a toilet.
All right.
As I said,
I agree.
especially with that CD.
When the CD add-on is on there, yes, it's definitely the worst. Other
Well-
than that, I'm not so sure if the base system isn't that bad looking.
I guess you could argue also, if you have a Sega Genesis with the Sega CD and the 32X all stacked on top of one another, that's
Right.
a bit unsightly too. To be fair,
True.
that giant mushroom kind of blasting out of the top of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be the Jaguar. Yeah. It was as much as I loved the Jaguar, and I did love the Jaguar.
What?
Really?
No, you did.
Back
You
in the day, I
loved
loved the
Tempest
Jaguar.
2000.
I did. I loved Tempest 2000. You're right.
Oh,
You're right.
jeez.
I love Tempest 2000. And I thought Aliens vs. Predator was pretty good, too.
Did you love the new one also? Because I think I remember that you loved the new one.
God,
Yeah.
no, I did not love the new one. Let's get that clear.
Did you
Even
own
Tempest-
Bedazzled with
Tempest-
Brendan Fraser specifically to run on the new one?
No.
Okay.
Did I buy that? I may have bought that to take a screenshot of
What is this?
the menus or something, because they had Nuon. They had special DVDs that would interact with the Nuon.
Did they really?
In some way? Yeah.
I did not know this.
It was maybe like 3 movies. It was really nothing. Yeah.
It's like the CD plus G.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Sega
Naked
CD.
Gun 33 and a third was on that.
Was a new one compatible?
Was it really? I don't know
No.
about
That was CD plus G. Bedazzled with Elizabeth Hurley and Brendan Fraser is the only new on movie I remember.
Wait,
Oh.
what do you mean Naked Gun was CD plus G?
Yeah, the Philips you're talking about? The Philips CDI add-on is what I'm thinking of.
No, I'm talking.
Okay.
No.
CD
You're
plus
thinking,
G is a different thing.
yeah, CD plus G was
Not the
same
MPEG.
CD. Yeah, you're thinking of the.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, yes.
I'm talking about the music CDs that you could pop in your Sega CD and they would show graphics in the background while you.
Yes.
They had
Okay.
Information
Jimi
Society.
Hendrix, Greatest Hits, Information Society.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
sure there were others.
I'm sure there were. I don't remember them.
Those are the 2 I know of.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac. I don't know. Something.
Big.
Yeah. Yeah. CDI was pretty bad too.
Yeah.
And
it
it was
was.
just, it looked like a CD player. So, whatever. Nuon, yeah, Tempest 3000. I gave Tempest 3000 a really bad review in EGM. It was terrible.
And
Someone
that was
has
Jeff
uploaded-
Minter did it, right?
Yes,
Someone
Jeff
has
Minter did.
uploaded to YouTube the Information Society CD plus G.
Of course they did.
I know what I'm going to be doing for the next 45 minutes after I finish recording this show. Holy cow.
That's right.
Outstanding.
Indeed.
Pure energy.
All right. You know what? Before we close out this episode, I want to say once again, congrats to Mr. Seward and
Yeah.
everybody who donated. He raised around $7,600 for the IWK with his extra
Amazing.
live stream, which is absolutely awesome. I believe that is a record-breaking donation run with him, which is fantastic. And I would like to remind everybody that we had friend of the show Seabake on last week, and he was a guest during the extra live stream, and the proceeds from the sales of his book Wrong, You Messed Up, Retro Games You Messed Up Our Comic Book Heroes, the proceeds of that from now until Thanksgiving will also go to Extra Life, so check out that book. I'll link to it in the show notes. It's a very cool book and a very cool cause indeed.
Yes.
The other thing I want to mention before we say goodbye is PlayStation Experience is coming up first weekend in December. I'm totally going to be there.
Where is it at now?
It is in Anaheim at the Anaheim Convention Center.
Mm.
So Ethan, you won't be there, obviously,
No.
but I will be there at the Adult Swim Games booth. We're showing off some great stuff. You can get a one of those cards. They did a sort of meta game at the PlayStation Experience last year. They're going to do it again this year with some cards. We'll have a card at our booth. It's awesome. We'll have some great games as well. We're going to have 4 games shown. I won't say what they are because I'm not sure if we've actually announced it, but come by, check it out, and say hello because I'll be there, and the people I work with will be there too. So do that. And with that, the outro. Alrighty. And that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitters, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information, blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward, and you'll find Generation 16 episodes as well. You'll find a message board where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by going to the iTunes Music Store. While you're at the iTunes Music Store, you can also invest $1.99.
Cheap.
The Player One Podcast iPhone application gives you one-touch communication with us via the emails.
You got
the
that
Twitters,
one?
what have you. You also have all of our episodes ready to stream right to your listening device. And hey, Android cell phone, telephone users, Player One Podcast iPhone application is available for your listening device as well for that same $1.99.
Also cheap.
Find that right over there at the Amazon Android Marketplace. You can also listen to us on Stitcher. You can like us on Facebook. You can check out archives of our show and watch us live most weeks on the youtubes.com/player1podcast. And if you've liked what you heard, and how could you can head over to patreon.com/P1podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. It keeps CJ rolling in inferior Pokemon hats.
That's right. You know
He needs as many
Says-
Pokemon
There's
hats.
Pikachu on the back of it. See?
Mine
Pikachu's.
just has a little fancy Pokeball right there.
Nice. Nice.
So,
Okay.
so yeah, I have the better Pokemon hat. Sorry.
Okay.
brah. Sorry,
Fine.
brah.
Fine.
That's right. And if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to generation-16.com. Throw a few bucks Greg Seward's way to help support his fantastic web series, Generation 16, about the good old Sega Genesis, which
Right.
does not have a cool retro system like Nintendo does.
Not yet.
Yet.
These retro
Let's see what the
systems,
future holds.
things are going to come out of the woodwork for next
Yes,
Christmas.
indeed. Yes, indeed.
yeah.
Doodly.
And I hope they're good.
CJ,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
No problem, Phil.
Ethan Einhorn,
Yes, sir.
thank you for joining us this day.
You're welcome. Even though you tried to get me just to not log on again after my microphone was
Well,
was
it would have
struggling,
been nice. Would have been.
No, it
everyone
wouldn't have
would
been.
won that.
We
Everyone
need
would have
Ethan.
won.
Nobody wants to listen to just CJ and Phil talk.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure our mothers would.
Oh, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
But you're welcome.
And Seward, congratulations again on your fantastic charitable donations. I'm
Yes.
glad I was able to pop on and be a part of it for a little while as well. So
That was some fun stuff.
yep. So we'll see everybody next week.
Sure. Happy American Thanksgiving,
That's right.
everybody.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's right. Thanksgiving's coming up.
Yeah.
So,
And we'll see you next week.
yeah.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.